Hi there, my name is Wendy. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Stand Up to Parent and Grandparent Alienation. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. Welcome back to 2018. Hopefully, everybody was able to get through the holidays without too many tears shed missing your loved ones. Today, what we're talking about is my story, and it's exposing the truth. Now, when I was going through the divorce from my ex-husband, it was very straightforward, and I saw two very different sides of the court system compared to going through it as a divorced woman and going through as an alienated parent. So today we're exposing the system and telling the truth. And I wanted to, hopefully, by sharing my story with you, hopefully you'll be able to better protect yourself and your children from alienation. Now, when I first became an alienated grandmother, I want to talk about first, let's talk about audio recording and how extremely important that is. It's extremely important because even medical practitioners lie, which I have totally found out. Now, I had a doctor for 16 years, and I shared this doctor with another family member. Now, when I was going through all the behavioral problems with my daughter from 12 years old, I thought she was very supportive of me, but although I thought maybe now that when I look back, maybe she was trying to start the alienation process then as well, considering she kept telling me that I have to walk away, not answer my phone, not take her calls, nothing, because of how abusive she was. But as a mother in good conscience, I could not do that because I'm always fearful that a tragedy is going to happen and somebody's going to need to get a hold of me and are going to be unable to. So I thought maybe, looking back, maybe the alienation process was starting with her back then. But as a mother, I could not walk away from my daughter. I loved my daughter, and I was determined to do anything I could to get her help. I was having a very hard day. My family doctor is actually trained in counseling as well. So I was having a very hard day going through some abuse with my family, so I wanted to go up and talk to my family doctor about it. Keep in mind that I've never said anything to anybody before this, and I thought, oh, maybe it could be kept just between me and her, but apparently it couldn't be. Because the unethical treatment that I got from her that day blew my mind. I had immediately changed doctors right away. And this isn't only my story, this is actually my daughter's story too. My oldest daughter, I have two children. So when I went up to my family doctor and I started talking to her about my problems, she leaped up off of her chair. The memory of this is burnt into my head so bad. She leaped off of her chair and said to me, if I had to come up to tell her my story first, I would have been more apt to be believed. Those words will never leave my head because I cannot believe that a medical practitioner would say that to a patient. I was completely blown away. So that left me no choice but to file a complaint against the college and physician board against her. Because right then and there, I knew that she had sided with my alienator. When I had left the office, I had found out in affidavit reports by CAS saying that my doctor had said that I was such a manipulator I would do whatever it takes to get my own way. That I was also driving high on one particular incident with my grandson in the car. Both cases completely unfounded and untrue. Manipulation, I don't know the first thing about manipulation. I don't have anything that I want to say that I manipulated a situation ever to get it. The other patient that goes to my doctor is a family member. Yes, she's extremely manipulative. Yes, she has driven high. Luckily, my grandson was not in the car at the time because he was not born, but my oldest daughter was, and I got that story from her. But in my case, when my doctor My daughter also said that she'd never drive with this person again because she was scared to death of how bad her driving was. When I went back to when I had left the office, I had found out an affidavit reports about me driving high with my grandson in the car, which is complete fabrication. CAS had no intention of trying to get to the truth of that day. They had never asked my witnesses that were in the car with me that day the true story. But to set the record straight, the true facts of the case was my youngest daughter became very irate in the car, and I'm not even sure why. Just all of a sudden, she began to lose her mind. She unbuckled her 3-month-old son out of the car and was ready to jump out. I had to have my older daughter stand in front of the door to stop her from jumping out with that baby. I continued to beg her on the way home to please settle down, let me just get her home to safety, and then she will never have to see me again. I finally managed to get her home, and when I did, she threw the baby out of the car like a little rag doll and attacked her sister. That is the full truth of the whole story. Nothing about me being high at all. There was never concerns about it. There was never allegations about it. Nothing until I went up to my family doctor. Now, I had 2 witnesses in the car, as well as the baby and his mother in the car with me at the time. The thing is that it's very concerning to me that CAS wants to continuously blame me for the entire thing was they did not ask any questions, they did not find out the truth, they did not care to know. Now the thing is that's very concerning to me is I am the only one that was blamed for this. But yet, the other 2 witnesses that I had in the car, if I was so high, they were in the car with me with the baby. Aren't they at fault as well for allowing me to drive high with the baby in the car? What about the baby's mother who put the baby in the car? Now let's keep in mind the reason why I had everybody in the car in the first place was because I was taking my youngest daughter and her son to a doctor's appointment, so I was doing something good for her. And I was taking her and her son to a doctor's appointment. But CAS did not question my witnesses and did not question any of the situation that happened that day. Now, if I was driving high, my mother was in the car with me. Wouldn't she be just as at fault for allowing me to drive high with her great grandson in the car? My oldest daughter was in the car with me. Well, wouldn't she be at fault for me driving high and letting me drive high while I was in the car with my grandson? But nobody else got blamed for it. It was like I took that baby and I drove high with him, with nobody else in the car, and I made that decision on my own. Well, setting the record straight, I do not drive under the influence of absolutely everything. And yes, the one that was driving high was the kinship provider who was driving high with my daughter in the car. And my daughter swore she would never drive with her again because she was scared to death. This is the truth. This is the story of my life. And this is only the beginning. The next part, I'll be exposing my emails and the vulgarity that I've had to deal with, the alienators' direct messages to my children, which shows it is a complete alienation process. Since my doctor had told those horrible lies about me, immediately my older daughter and I had switched family physicians, so we no longer have to deal with that. But the other funny thing is, with my family doctor, is she's gone and caused all this trouble for me, but yet she praises my daughter up. she praised my oldest one up, saying that she was very proud of her for the way that she's become, the woman she's become, and proud of the things that she's accomplishing in her life. And I sit there and I give myself a pat on the back for it. Why? Because I was such a horrible mother to one child, but I was such a great mother to the other child, because the one who's doing well for herself and still in school and has a goal and is committed to change is my oldest daughter. And I got her there. She wouldn't have an education if it wasn't for her father, because he doesn't even supply her with $20 a month, knowing she's not working and struggling. He's left the complete onus on me to pay for everything. And he couldn't care less whether she was in school or not. He would have no intentions of paying for her education whatsoever, because he couldn't wait to stop paying support for her. And this is why he has always been angry with me, because he still has to continue to pay special support. So this is only one of my stories, and it is imperative that you record everything so that you can stop and make sure that this doesn't happen, and then when you do take it to court, the judge has no choice but to look at it. My next episode, I will be covering the topic of affairs, assaults, and kinship providing, and is this the best stable environment for a child to be raised in? Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.